I'm Superantonio. And we're live. Greetings, friends. Happy Friday. And welcome back to Free Roam Fridays, where we free roam with Arthur in Chapter 2. Now on the PS5, there are some subtle differences in the quality and, of course, the upload, or rather the game loads faster, the loading time, but it's basically the same game. However, the title of this video, this live stream, is not clickbait. We did find the Piebald Tobiano Hungarian half-bred, and we'll talk about it in a second. Nick Brown says, "What's up, man? It's Saturday for me." Greetings, Nick Brown. How are you, my friend? Happy Saturday to you. Let's see. I found my PS4 main account. Okay. So I loaded that information on the PS5, and it updated the Ultimate Edition digital perks. And that's what we're going to go check. So we have the trinkets, and we have the outfit, the Nueva Paraíso outfit, and the Nueva Paraíso saddle. But I wanted to see if the Iron Gray Ardennes and the Reverse Dapple Black Thoroughbred was available. And we ran right by Arthur's favorite bounty hunter camp, and guess what happened? Miko Herptile, channel moderator Miko Herptile, says, "Hello, Super Antonio, Sadie mods, and everyone." And Miko says, "Hello, Nick." And Sadie says, "Hello to you, Miko. Greetings, my friend. You made it to the weekend, and a fine weekend it is." So, here comes Arthur's favorite bounty hunter camp. This was kind of patched. I mean, it took a really long time for us to spawn a Piebald Tobiano Hungarian half-bred.
Okay there.
However, it is now unpatched. This is the latest version of the game. I highly recommend, updating your game if you don't have it, because it's whatever update they did, unpatched this event. It works again. And how you can tell is you get the medium quality horses, like the Appaloosas and the American Paints. If you get those, and the Thoroughbreds and the Mustangs, if you get like the higher end horses or the medium end horses, it's always a good sign. It means you're going to spawn the Piebald Tobiano. And we're going to do this in real time. Nick Brown says, "I love your dog. Have you watched John Wick?" I have all of them on Blu-ray, Nick Brown. I love John Wick. And thank you. This is Sadie, the channel dog. She's my co-host. She's always here. And she's happy to see you. And she tells you to like and subscribe. So, yeah. We'll do this in real time. It took about 20 minutes. I'm going to make a separate video on it as well, because this is kind of good news, and it makes me wonder about Moonstone Pond Biscuit. I mean, I haven't tried in so long. I've just assumed. See, got the minor horses now. That's okay. But, you never know. It's certainly worth the live stream. So we'll get on that. John Harrington says, "Hi, Super Antonio." Hi, John Harrington. Greetings. Happy Friday. Your weekend, ironically, is the start of my work week. Arthur meant to do that. We really thought that Chocolate Roan Dutch Warm Blood would get out of the way. Also, we have Bruce Wayne reflexes because we've been playing Batman Arkham Knight so much. Batman Arkham Knight every night, ironically. Miko says, "Hello, John." But this weekend, we're going to be streaming the Last of Us Part 1 on Saturday and Batman Arkham Knight on Sunday. We just got the DLC, and I upvote, and we started a playthrough on the with the Batman 66 skin, and he looks ridiculous and glorious at the same time. And it's just his skin, so he has all the armor and everything. You know, that his Arkham Knight Batsuit has. But he just looks ridiculous. It's like he's wearing like this thin layer of spandex or lycra. That's bulletproof. But it's still tri-weave titanium carbon fiber. Anyways, we'll talk more of it on Sundays. Nick asks, what days do you stream Super Antonio? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday, Monday for you, my friend. Yeah, we do Free Roam Fridays with Arthur, and then currently we're doing The Last of Us Part 1. Part 2 does not exist on this channel. And Batman Arkham Knight. And we'll be doing that for the foreseeable future. A Kentucky Saddler and the Red Roan Tennessee Walker, one of the prettiest Tennessee Walkers. So settle in, it's going to take about 20 minutes, spoiler alert, to do this, but we'll get it done. The 7 p.m. Pacific, Nick Brown. The thumbnail was not clickbait. Sadie's tired, Miko. Yeah, I'm surprised this works. Usually, if you have, if you try this and you're just getting shires, there, see? That's a really good sign. Got ourselves an American paint and a Mustang. If you're getting the shires and, you know, the heavier workhorses, that means you have an older version that is patched. And just update your game to the latest version. And you might be pleasantly surprised. But yeah, you need to get these medium quality horses. And we're on the Chocolate Roan Dutch Warm Blood, and I honestly thought we were going to be doing a playthrough with this horse, but spoiler alert, we are not. Arthur's favorite bounty hunter camp. Back to the Tennessee Walkers. And the Liver Chestnut Morgan. If we have the Liver Chestnut Morgan, that means the Perlino Andalusian is also available. Which we didn't, you know, it's like I was playing this off a disc. Well, actually, I'm still playing it off a disc. And, but basically it was version 1. But now we're completely updated. Nick Brown asks, have you watched Star Wars? What's that, Nick Brown? Is a war about stars? Try not to get political on this channel. And a thoroughbred, very good sign. Dapple Gray Thoroughbred. Technically, my least favorite thoroughbred. Mama One is here. Everyone say hi to Mama One. Mama One, greetings. I had a question for you and Papa One. It's about men in sports. You'll like it, though. Papa One says, hey, gang. Okay, Mama One and Papa One, you can answer this question. Is there a discernible difference in horse racing riders, jockeys, with a male and a female? Because from what I understand, it's just weight and skill. And how much of that skill translates into bone density and longer arms and more upper body strength. And you need lower body strength for horse racing, I would assume. But anyways, I knew you could answer that question. And I believe it's one of the only like traditional real sports where they have males and females competing against each other. Because really, it's the horse that's competing. But Correct me if I'm wrong. Miko says, hello, Mama 1 and Papa 1. Mama 1 says, hey, Miko. And Papa 1 says, Miko, my friend, always great to chat. Oh, I had an idea of how to do a 24-hour stream. And I'm not sitting here for 24 hours. But we could let the stream go and the chat go for 24 hours. I already checked on for Streamlabs. That's the program we use. And they don't have a problem with it. And then I could just like run videos and then check in every hour to like load up another video. And John Harrington asks, hi Super Antonio, did you like The Last of Us Season 2? The HBO version of The Last of Us is an abomination, John Harrington. I hate it. Even though it's very authentic. I mean, it captures the world quite well, and Pedro Pascal is an excellent Joel, but I hate that abomination they got to play Ellie. And I'm not afraid to say it. Miko says, likewise, Papa 1, hope you had a good week. And now, Tennessee Walker. Couple of the Palomino Gold Tennessee Walker, though. Very pretty Tennessee Walker. We're getting the Piebald Mama 1. It's happening. And just as far as graphics go with the PS5, you know, the greens are greener, that blue sky is crisper. We have the ability to pump, you know, to output this in 4K and 60 FPS, but we're streaming in 1080p, so there's really no reason to bloat up the live stream. Papa 1 says, well, as long as the weight and BMI is balanced, it would not matter. That being said, it depends on the body mass index, and muscle weighs more than fat. But it wouldn't make that much of a difference. I thought so, Papa 1. Males and females competing together traditionally with no problem. And no complaints from the LGBT community, as far as I know. But, you know, hopefully we're seeing the tail end of that ridiculous trend.
Yep.
We got a ways to go. I mean, this does, you know, all the horse exploits in this game require patience. Spent all week fooling around with Batman Arkham Knight. I'll tell you about it on Sundays, because I have a lot of thoughts on that game as well. Papa 1 says, it just could not be a large amount heavier rider in certain classes. Mostly it's all on the horse. Arabians, despite being a smaller horse, actually react to more weight, better than a larger racehorse. Interesting. I know when jockeys do weigh-ins, they're carrying the saddle as well, which I always thought was interesting. Because, you know, like MMA weigh-ins, you know, they're basically showing off their physique. Crunch, crunch, crunch. She has a potent canine bait. That's the only way we're going to keep her here tonight. Regrettably, she's very tired. We had a very exciting day. Exciting for her, a little scary for me. We had a confrontation with a crazy homeless person, which we don't really encounter that much. You know, it's like I carry myself with confidence and yeah, she doesn't want to talk about it. And you know, and I walk tall, and I have a big, you know, I've got a medium dog. It can be scary if you're not if you're afraid of dogs. So you know, we don't usually get bothered. But this gentleman was very dirty, and he, you know, we saw him from half a block away, right at the start, you know, of our walk. And then he was yelling. He was just yelling incoherently, and he was approaching us. And so naturally, you know, Sadie noticed him, ears perked up. So we crossed the street, and that offended him, and he started yelling. He started yelling gibberish at us, and like raising his he was being aggressive. He was being super aggressive, and you know, he was raising his fists. His body was all tensed up to you know, and he was very, you know, talk about a lean body mass. You know, he looked dirty and strong and scary. So, you know, what can we do? You know, it's like I actually thought about going back home, but I didn't want him to know where we live. And honestly, I think I was a little more worried because I had the dog with me than I would on my own. You know, where I would just ignore and walk away as fast as I could. There's no reason to get into confrontation. But anyways, so he's yelling at us, and I'm trying to walk away, and Sadie's turned around. You know, I'm dragging her. She's done it. She's done a complete 180 because she's interested in this, and she was not aggressive. She was her mood was like curious and excited with the potential to get aggressive, and that was interesting. And I was like, come on, let's get out of here. Come on. And finally he moved on, and we watched him walk away and start yelling at cars. And so we took a different alternate route so we would avoid him. But it was interesting for me because you know, dogs have a sacred covenant with man since the caveman days, that we feed them and offer them shelter, and they offer companionship, help with hunting, and protection. And she doesn't get to use that protection instinct very much, you know, in our daily life. And you know, it's like a big aspect of anxiety with dogs is if they don't personally feel safe or protected when you're walking them, if they feel that they have to take on that role, that causes a lot of anxiety. And I'm really pleased that she's, you know, that she's confident enough in me. She trusts me enough to just let her play, and I'll take care of any threats. But you could see that she wanted to test herself and deal with this threat. And I was like, nope, we're moving on. Look at that beautiful sunset. That's the PS5. Mom one says, Arabians and Thoroughbreds are the best racehorses, although standard breds are great too. We have dealt with all kinds of horses and bred all kinds, but we specialized in Arabians and Thoroughbreds. We did show on racehorses, but every stable is involved in some way in all types of horse markets. And Papa one says, Miko, my week has been a good, busy work week. I am working on a custom saddle for a client who wants it for a horse show taking place in New York in August. I'm making a unique custom saddle horn, stirrups, and a bit with spurs. Okay, it's in the middle of the night, and guess what? Here we go.
Settle down, girl.
And I'll show you the map. I mean, we're going to make a video out of this.
Hey, you're okay, girl.
Don't you worry. It's happening. Miko says, good, Papa One. Certainly no idle time at the homestead. Yeah, it's good to keep busy.
Yep.
Mama One says, Sadie was ready to show him she's a Sandinese street fighter like Charles. She was ready. I mean, it's like, and that was nice to see. And here we go. What I tell you. The Piebald Tobiano Hungarian half-bred, 20 people in the chat. Welcome, friends. You're just in time to see Arthur at his favorite bounty hunter camp. This is the current version of the game. So this is officially unpatched. It was patched. Now it's been unpatched. And I think it's because whatever they did with the latest update, you know, changes everything. It's a very organic situation with a game this expansive. If you tweak one line of code, if you pull at that, it just affects everything. It ripples all the way through. And so whatever they did to update undid this. And now this horse is available. We don't need a carbine repeater, a Lancaster right now. Hate that saddle. It's going to be upgraded immediately. Good evening, gentlemen. Routine camp inspection.
You get the hell away from here and stay there.
Calm down, will you?
Miko says, I wonder what kind of news Rob Weishoff was so excited about. I can't say anything about it. Now I'm wondering, Miko.
Easy now.
Could it be a remasters in the works? Certain channels would run with that. Pop One says, I'm so glad we came out of retirement. We worked occasionally with horses, still such as horse sitting and helping with the birthing, but we are back and better than ever. Dad would be extremely proud of us. This chat is extremely proud of you. Papa One. And we got an honor ding for borrowing this horse, Arthur's favorite horse, and we will get our honor back by introducing this horse to Blind Man Callahan.
Help a blind man.
Here.
That which is killing you will help you finally to see. And see clearly, friend. See and hear.
Swap saddles
All right. Well,
and say
I'll
goodbye
have
to the
take your
chocolate
word for
roan DWB.
I'm sure
Here
you've
you
got
go,
better
girl.
things to do than follow a lame blind man around.
Okay, let's get him back. Let's get her back to the stables. Get a mohawk on her, and the next task is, if you will recall, we helped Norbert, the snakebite guy,
Hey,
so we can get a Springfield from him. That's next. That'll cause some problems on Arthur's part because, again, we have Batmobile reflexes. We're not really used to riding horses anymore. Mom one says, as horse owners, it makes us laugh when Arthur steals the piebald. Imagine what the bounty hunters tell their friends. Yeah, just came up. He was so polite. He said good evening. A little brushy brush. Pop one says, why are you getting rid of the Dutch warm blood? Because we kept the Mahogany Bay and Dutch and Hosea's Unruly Bastard. And again, you know, the Dutch warm blood is always readily available. And I always like to have one slot open. And we'll need it for the brindle.
Welcome to you and your horse.
So yeah, Unfortunately, she's got to go. So we got the HH, we've got the Mahogany Bay, and we've got Hosea's horse for now. And the Reverse Dappled Thoroughbred and the Iron Grey Ardennes are available. Miko says Arthur always looks back if the response to his howdy is antagonizing. The game's giving you a chance to challenge. Well, let's call this horse Super Antonio. And we'll upgrade that horrible saddle. Pop One says, any reason you kept the Mahogany Bay? It's a unique horse, and I just kept it right now in case we need it for videos or something. Just in case. The Nueva Paraíso will do for now, but we're going to get the alligator ASAP. And we move on to the next day. Yeah, I found my old PlayStation 4 account, primary account, and the password. So I wrote that in a couple different places so I'll never forget it again. So I could log on. And I found a bunch of old messages from Serena. It's so embarrassing that I never responded to. And a bunch of friend requests that, so I just I cleaned all that up. But then I loaded that account onto the PS5. Made that the primary account on the PS5. It's Super Antonio _ capital Y capital T. If you got a PlayStation account.
Let's go, girl.
Okay. First things first, it needs to be daylight. Miko says, I did watch a playthrough where the player kept the Mahogany Bay, used him in all missions until the very end. It made the ending that more sentimental. Yeah, I agree. We did that with a full game commentary. Also, a challenging playthrough would be just not upgrading the weapons. Just using whatever the game gave you in Chapter 1. However, for us, the Varmint Rifle is free. Ultimate Edition perk. Also a volcanic, but we don't really need the volcanic right now.
Good.
Might as well upgrade. I do like the look of a long
It's
gun.
a nice piece and all, but
We'll get the hero grip once we get our honor up. A long barrel, I mean. I just like how it looks. I don't think it really adds anything in terms of accuracy, but we can afford it.
You keep treating that like your own child, all right? Good on you. We can do a lot with this.
Same
New
with
trigger,
good old
brand new
Lanky.
bolt, your pick.
And really the only cosmetic thing we're going to be doing is changing the finish. I don't like any of those grains. They're always, it doesn't seem worth it.
I'd just like to
I
give
like
this a
mahogany
personal touch with some
varnish
engraving.
on all the long guns. And I used to put a buck carving on
Doesn't hurt to
the
stock up on ammo.
on
You never
the
know.
sawed off. I thought that looked nice in his when he gets the offhand. But I haven't been doing that lately.
Oh, wait. You're that fellow who had to fight with Tommy outside of Smithfield's?
Yep.
People are still talking
Also,
about that fight.
free varmint.
I ain't.
Fair enough. Neither's Tommy. Anyway, how can I help you today?
The irony is we can easily afford a Springfield with the profit or the money we made from selling the chocolate DWB. But why buy when you can get it for free? Need the varmint for the Legend of the East satchel. Squirrels, rabbits, badgers, and beavers. You get with the varmint. Okay. Now all we have to do is ride back and forth, leave town and come back until Norbert spawns. And you'd be surprised how difficult Arthur is going to make this. Mama one says, the first time I ever did the Hungarian half-bred exploit, it happened the first time. I also got one in Annesburg. I got 3 from Blackwater one time. Yeah, but I always love the bounty hunter because the bounty hunter camp because you get a female.
Place ain't what it used to be.
Here before? Welcome.
Get a little pomade. Oh, I forgot. We're going. We did a bath lady experience. Don't tell Mary Beth.
My family freeze to death in the winter of 72.
And we got a bath lady I didn't recognize.
You wretches.
A new bath lady. Miko says, I always get the Springfield for hunting too. Yeah, it's perfect for hunting.
You ain't worth 2 shits, whole damn lot of you.
Thanks, mister.
1 tree. 1 buffalo.
Thanks for your assistance.
Hey, open your eyes.
Arthur was thinking about it. Then in here,
Got everything you need. Have a look.
we can get the Eagle Claw Talisman, which is the fanciest spurs you can get in the game. The Eagle Talon Talisman. Very pretty. And our complimentary Nueva Paraíso belt and holster. Can't recall if the secondary also is Mama One says, tonight I made a stuffed peppers dish. Tonight I used fresh venison, rabbit, and beef, caramelized onions, cheese, mushrooms, and jalapenos. It was my first trying to make it, and I must say it was great. It sounds great. It sounds delicious, Mama One. Except for the jalapeno part, I'm afraid I would probably pick those out. And I apologize. I'm not really a picky eater, but I have very low tolerance for super spicy. You know, Hortus would love the jalapenos. He'd probably want stuffed jalapenos. What did you make for dessert? And Papa One says it was a great meal along with Ham's beer, and she made some delicious strawberry ice cream. Wow. That does sound delicious.
Thanks, partner.
See,
Hello, lady.
technically the bath ladies hang out up on that balcony. And they call one of them down.
Hello, welcome.
The front desk clerk must have some kind of system, some kind of light or bell he rings.
Corridor there.
for one of them to come down and knock on the door. Miko says, "Me too, Super Antonio. Very spicy food doesn't agree with me." Yeah, I can't tolerate it. But I do like wasabi. That's about the only spice I can tolerate.
Would you like someone to take over for you?
Miko says, "But that dish sounds yummy." It sure does. Now this lady, I recognize her her outfit, but I don't recognize her. But we are very pleased to make your
Hope the water's
acquaintance.
hot enough? You let me know if you need anything, all right?
Some parts of me probably ain't been this clean in months.
Oh, I'm not sure what to make of that.
So, how's it going with you?
Yes, not too bad.
Arthur's got some flat feet.
Let's get some bad men in here.
It was 1899. No arch
how it
support
goes
at
around
all
here.
for any of the footwear. Papa One says, "Always get you a girl who can cook. It's Mama One's secret trick to always winning an argument, cause you will give in when you are starving."
Much better than this, right?
Well, that works.
All right, think I'm good.
It was nice.
And I
getting
can't
to
argue
know
with you, Papa One.
That shopkeep across the way has been selling out his room for cheap. But I hear there's goddamn sidewalk.
Never looked at the ceiling. We need to look at the ceiling. There's rafters up there. There's something up there. We left the horse. We're looking for Norbert, as you recall.
Hey, fellas.
Miko says, "There was a period when I made Arthur bathe every day just to make sure Miss Grimshaw doesn't hassle me for being dirty." Yeah, I can understand that, Miko. I can understand that quite well. Uh-oh. Hold on. We got some technical difficulties. Let me find some files for you. Okay, here we go. We're gonna have to start that sequence over. That's embarrassing. That's okay. 19 viewers in the chat. Welcome, friends. Happy Friday. Just in time. We just got the Piebald Tobiano Hungarian half-bred. And now we're going to try to get Norbert to spawn so we can get a free Springfield. What's that about? And also, this is practice for the 24-hour stream. Which, I'm not going to be sitting here for 24 hours. If I do it, I will just, stream 1-hour videos and pop in every hour to change the video out like I did right now, and to, read the chat and catch up and tell you stuff. However, I don't know how that would work with the chat. You know, we don't want people in the chat saying unkind things or yelling about free Palestine or men and women sports or any of those things. We don't want any of that. But I don't know if, if the chat would filter out. I know the chat will filter out obscenities. But that would be the one negative thing about an unmonitored 24-hour stream. So maybe we won't, but I'm thinking about it. I figured out a way we would. Mom One says you would always make sure we have a mod on duty. And channel member Glynis Coleman says, hello everyone, long time no see. Greetings, Glynis. Yes, indeed. Welcome back. Sadie's here. She's on the desk, and she wants to see you. Miko says, yes, a mod would have to be on duty at some point. Yeah, we don't have enough mods anymore, Miko. And Miko says, hello, Glynis. Yeah, regrettably. And Mama One says, hi, Glynis, how have you been?
Ain't no trace of rust on that as far as I can see.
And Sadie's chewing in my ear.
I'd personally add some
I don't know what that means.
take it or leave it.
I just smell like green tea. Glennis says, hey, Miko and Mama One. And Miko says, or you could change the settings where they'd have to be subscribed for a certain time before chatting. Yes, I'm everyone, I have done that, Miko. Remember, if you recall, we used to it used to be just commando freeform, and we would get very horrible, in spite and mean-spirited comments. Glennis says, just been busy, and hey, Sadie, that's one of the reasons why we did that. So you have to be subscribed. But yeah, that was very early in our life as a streamer on this channel. So I don't know. Someone gave me the idea in the chat, I think on a Batman stream. But I certainly have the footage. And then for the sleeping part, when we go to bed, I could just load up a 6-hour stream. Or 6 or 8 hours video. And this computer could handle rendering an 8-hour video. Mama One says, we are glad to have you back, Linus. You can always just catch right back up with us. That's the fun of the channel. Yes, indeed. And Miko says, yes, the O'Driscolls would infiltrate the chat. Yeah, we did get a lot of O'Driscolls in the early days. Some of them were mean to the dog. Who could be mean to a dog? But I guess that's what John Wick is all about. Glennis says, I've been playing Red Dead 1 and am enjoying it. Yeah, it's a good game. It holds up. Mama One says, give Sadie complete control for an hour. Strap a GoPro on her. Yeah, I thought about doing that. It'd be funny. Dog vision. Also, I got the idea from my sister. She wants to put a nanny cam in here so that we can see what she gets up to when she's when I'm gone. And it's probably just a lot of napping, but it still would be funny to to make a video of that. Glennis asks, so how's everyone been? And Cloudy says, howdy y'all. Cloudy is here. It's just water. And Glennis says, hey Cloudy.
You ain't worth 2 shits, whole damn lot of you. Thanks, mister.
And Miko also says, hey Cloudy.
Welcome. Got everything you need. Have a look.
Thanks.
Deal with the wardrobe issues. Mama one says, all Sadie's dog friends come over for poker when Dad leaves. Probably smoke cigars as well. Yeah, Sadie did indeed get me a Father's Day present, and I was very pleased. That's thanks to you, Mama one. So she did. She asked me for $20, and I said, sure, you can have $20, but why do you need money when I will buy you literally anything you want? And she says, I need it so that I can get you the DLC for Batman Arkham Knight. And I said, I thought that was $5. And she goes, it was $5, but that turned out to be a sale, and now it's $20. So I was like, oh, okay. She says, it is your favorite game after all right now, even though Catwoman should be called Dog Woman. And she does love Catwoman. She just hates her name. Miko says, same old Glynis. And Glynis says, LOL, Mama One. Cloudy says, a GoPro on Sadie. Make it happen, Super Antonio. Yeah, we could take her on a walk. I'll look into it. I think it would be some kind of harness situation. Actually, she does wear a harness. So if we mount it on top, and you could get her ears, and you could get her view. Cloudy says, sorry I'm late. I was solving crime in the world of L.A. Noire. That sounds like a good use of your time. Cole Phelps, LAPD. Glennis says, hey, Papa, and I love the farm life. Papa once said, we've been great, Glennis, just living the farm life and working. Okay, we've seen this, and we're seeing it again. And I'm sure you don't mind. Those bubbles look very 2018. I wonder if they fixed bubble technology. What do bubbles look like in Stellar Blade?
You can just leave it.
This lady, I've seen that outfit before. I've seen that that blouse in Saint Denis and also Rhodes.
Hot enough?
But I don't think I've ever seen. I don't think we've seen her before.
You let me know if you need anything, all right?
Some parts of me probably ain't been this clean in months.
Oh, I'm not sure what to make of that.
I don't know how long Sadie will last, and we have been doing late nights.
Yes, not too bad.
Because the PS5 is out here, and I've been working on Batman Arkham Knight.
That's how it goes around here.
Papa once says, we are planning a big trip to Florida. Going to buy a total of 25 horses. I'm trading some American quarter horses for a few Missouri Foxtrotters and a Clydesdale. How do you transport 25 horses? How many can you fit in those trailers? Or are they going to deliver them? Or a combination of the two? That's a lot of horses.
All right, think I'm good.
It was nice getting to know you.
Cloudy says, Super Antonio, the bubbles look fantastic in Stellar Blade, if you know what I mean. I know exactly what you mean, Cloudy. And Amazon Prime's coming up, or Amazon Deal Days, I forget what it's called. So we might pull the trigger on Stellar Blade if it goes on sale. Miko says, wow, another large haul, Papa One. And Papa One says, the Clydesdale is a former Budweiser horse before the Bud Light stuff. He's going to be used as a breeding stud for a friend of ours. Yeah, Bud Light. They, I don't know what they were thinking. Well, I know exactly what they were thinking. I followed that case in great detail. Glennis says, nice. It's extremely hot down here right now. 95 during the day with 100% humidity and probably a semi-nice Papa One. And this mouthy O'Driscoll. And Mom One says, yes, you take multiple trailers, farmhands, drive a truck or two, and we do as well. We have rented semi-trucks before. I recall in Yellowstone, Taylor, what's the name of that writer? Yellowstone, Taylor Sheridan. He has a cameo as a horse dealer or trader or something, trainer. He's a friend of the ranch, and he had a giant like trailer for horses and stuff. Now we're going to start to get in trouble because we looted this guy and they didn't like this. And then Arthur is like looking for the witness and everything. We accidentally robbed him because he wasn't a witness, so we run away, but it's too late. And Mamo says trains still transport horses as well. That's a tradition that's been going on since the start of trains. I can recall that scene in Deadwood. And Tombstone, Kurt Russell. They have a cat moment, a save the cat moment. Saving the cat moment is a movie term, a screenwriting term, which refers to the Christopher Reeve Superman from, I'm going to say 1977 or 78, where very early in the film he saves a cat, and what you do to like create an instant rapport and camaraderie and make a character likable and to show the audience that this character is likable and a hero is you have him do something for no reward, like saving a cat, just some kind of act of kindness. And the save the cat moment in Tombstone is when they're unloading a horse, a worker's unloading a horse, and he's beating the horse, and Kurt Russell just starts beating him. So, it's a little shorthand to tell you who the hero is. And we got in trouble again because we accidentally trampled somebody. Arthur has Bruce reflexes right now when it comes to riding. Miko says, I always save that O'Driscoll for the horseman dragging challenge. And Glynis says, you always save the cat. Yes, Glynis. Always. Populent says, yes, Miko, I have been working on getting some proper breeding thoroughbreds and Arabians. We have a few great ones, but I want more. And Populent says, we hope to have a couple of show winners by the end of the year. I'm entering several of our horses into a race and show competition. The winners get $35,000. Sounds good, Populent. That's a lot of prize money. 35, and maybe a belt buckle. Okay, pay off that bounty. It's only $15. We're not doing a bad honor playthrough. You can kind of see her spots now. She is technically a piebald, but when you get her wet, like she's when she has her shower, these spots, she becomes a spotty dotty. They really show up. Okay, here's Norbert. All we had to do is pay off her bounty. A free Springfield situation.
The one that gave you the medicine when the snake got you.
Guess so.
Listen, friend, I know I can never repay you, but
How about you head over to the gunsmith and pick out your choice of item on my tab? Oh, well.
Cloudy says, "Oh, I watched 2010 True Grit today, and I was thinking that Josh Brolin could play a good Arthur Morgan. He's a little too old now." Cloudy.
Oh, Norbert, huh? Well,
I would put him as Dutch or even Hosea.
we're between the two of us. Well, take a look around. Find something you like?
Glennis says, "Yeah, my friend at the barn has a show Arabian mare. She has won quite a few awards off, and she's asking 35 grand and has had several people looking at her." Mama One says, "Arthur the Foal will be competing in the baby horse class of the show. He has an extremely great pedigree, and he's my baby. He will win, I just know it. His mom was the best in class white Arabian for 3 years running." And Glennis says, "Nice, Mama One. We've got to get some mahogany finish on that." And Papa One says, "I've seen Arabians go for millions." And Papa One says, "She could get much more, Glennis, depending on her age and health." It is the sport of kings. And that's what the piebald thinks of the gunsmith. Let's put on a hunting jacket. Okay, let's collect some photographs just to get it off the map. I assume at some point we'll go for Flacco's gun. Miko says, "I hope you win, Mama One." Yes, fingers crossed. Sadie hopes you win too. Mama One says, "Super Antonio the Thoroughbred is going to compete in endurance and race in the small youth category." Glennis says she's a 6-year-old, I believe, very pretty and moves very well. The Jim Boy Calloway. We get no money off this. He promises to give us proceeds from the book. As far as I know, it never gets published. But we do get a lot of free handguns out of this.
I want to deify him. He's a god. I'm trying to write his biography.
How's that going?
I think I prefer the duel. Either I'd kill him and be able to be Baltimore's finest ever gunslinger, or he'd kill me and I could be set free from ever having
And look at those sideburns.
Well, you're starting to understand something very important.
What's that?
The joys of gunslinging. It's win-win, freedom or glory.
That's brilliant. I'm going to write that down, if I may.
Be my guest.
What's your name?
I don't have a name.
But you are a gunslinger.
Not really. I mean, folks who need shooting, I try to shoot in the back.
These are banana chips. Miko knows what a banana chip is. It's human grade.
Once upon a time.
Unsweetened.
You ain't interested.
She Hey, wait, I'm explaining it to the chat.
But you like fortune.
Very low in calories.
Okay.
And they've got that crunch that she likes. So yeah, she loves dried bananas and real bananas, of course. Wait, Daisy. Wait. I thought about getting a food dehydrator and just making our own banana chips, but I don't want to. I don't like having a cluttered counter. I want the kitchen counter to look as clean as possible. I just, and we could like make our own beef jerky too, because she loves beef jerky, but it's just easier to buy it.
Can't believe I just said that, but
You want me to go and find some sad, deluded fool.
Miko says, "Wish we could see the horses." And Mom One says, "Thanks, Miko. We are training and getting Arthur ready. Also, Super Antonio the Thoroughbred. I'm very excited." And Glennis says, "Apparently my horse is a hippo. My friend took her out on the trail yesterday, and my horse was totally underwater."
and there are notes on the back of those portraits that should lead
Papa One says, "We will have to send Super Antonio pictures, and maybe he can show them on screen." Yes, I will. The photographers will take plenty of pictures. They came the other day, took pictures of some of them. And Glennis says, "I got money from this mission. It was about $250. I don't recall." Okay. We hardly ever finish it. That's part of the problem. And that's about all I have for you tonight, friends. Appreciate you being here. Shout out to the mods. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but I can I'll leave the chat open for a bit, and you can talk amongst yourselves. Shout out to the mods, Mama One and Papa One, and Miko Herptile. Let's see. We shall return tomorrow night with The Last of Us Part 1 live stream. Last of Us Part 2 does not exist on this channel. And on Sunday, again, we shall be doing Batman Arkham Knight. And we have the DLC for Batman. Sadie got it for me for Father's Day. And so we have the Batman 66 skin. And boy, he looks glorious and ridiculous at the same time. Also, shout out to the channel members and Glynis. Thank you so much for your support. Couldn't do it without you, friend. Sadie says like and subscribe. And we shall return tomorrow night. Have a great Friday evening, and see you soon, friends.
There you go. Come on. That should do us. Take it easy. Okay, girl. Yep.
mister. I don't hardly know what to say. Thanks, I guess. You done me a service. Hey, look. The stage company's gonna write this off as a robbery anyway. If you can get in that lockbox, you can take what you want from it. It ain't stealing if it's already stolen.
Got that right. Yep. Easy. Yeah. Easy, easy. Yep. Come on, girl. Yeah.
Hello, Arthur.
I apologize in advance for this